What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some more fantasy football content. Today, I'm breaking down my week one wide receiver rankings. Usually, I have the earliest ones out or one of the earliest. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Have a ton of fantasy content out on the channel already. If you guys have not drafted sleepers, values, league winners, busts, all that info that you're going to need, rankings, as well as a ton of in-season content to help you beat your friends and family in fantasy football and bring home that fantasy football championship. If you want to win a championship this year in fantasy football, hit that subscribe button. It's that easy. Alrighty, let's dive into it. So these are half-point PPR rankings. At number one, I've got Tyreek Hill against Jacksonville. Number two, CeeDee Lamb against Cleveland. Not really much thought up of those top two. You can swap them back and forth if you like, but they're the top two. Three, Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Rams. I think he was going to ball in that game. Four, we got A.J. Brown against the Green Bay Packers in Brazil. Five, Jamar Chase against New England. Hoping he suits up for that one. Contract disputes currently, but he practiced as of yesterday. Six, Justin Jefferson against the Giants. He's a little lower in my rankings with the quarterback situation, but it is a good matchup for him. Seven, Puka Nacua against Detroit. He practiced this week. That's a great sign. Practicing a little bit ahead of schedule. Eight, Garrett Wilson against San Francisco. Should be a good game between those two teams. A defensive matchup. Number nine, we've got Chris Olave against Carolina. I think that could be a good game for him. 10, Devontae Adams against the Chargers. 11, we've got Mike Evans against Washington. And actually, going back to Devontae Adams, with Gardner Minshew being named the starter, he's going to absolutely pepper Devontae Adams with targets. We've seen him do that in the past. He did that with Michael Pittman last year, and Devontae Adams is a lot better than Michael Pittman. So expect a big year from Adams. Even if it's not, the counting stats you want, there should just be a ton of volume. And then moving down the list, Mike Evans against Washington. This is a good matchup for him. He could get in that end zone, I think. 12, Deebo Samuel against the Jets. I think there are going to be a lot of design touches for him in this game with the way the Jets play and just the Brandon Ayuk situation thus far. I think it's definitely, not going to be a Brandon Ayuk game. Moving on, we got Marvin Harrison Jr. in his first game against Buffalo. Just have him a little bit lower down just because of, being a rookie, joining the season. We typically see rookie receivers have about 20% more production over the second half of the season. So tempering expectations just to the start of the season. We'll see how he gets going. But still, he's a top 15 wide receiver in my rankings, which is pretty crazy. 14, Cooper Kupp against Detroit. I think he will be good in that contest. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. 15, Jalen Waddle against Jacksonville. I think he is going to get back and right. 15, Nico Collins against Indy. Nico was excellent last year deep down the field, attacks, and can make his the whole day in one play. 17, Devonta Smith against Green Bay. I think this will be a good game. I'm excited for that one, and Devonta Smith's a star. 18, DK Metcalf against Denver. Tough matchup with their corners, but he should be okay. They should be able to move around enough, and he should be able to do enough to still have a solid game. 19, Michael Pittman Jr. against Houston. You hope that Anthony Richardson hyper targets him the same way Gardner Minshew was last year. And they can just keep that moving forward. 20, T. Higgins against New England. Great touchdown upside in this one for T. Higgins. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, he shoots up. 21, Amari Cooper against Dallas. Revenge game for him. I think he's going to be fantastic. 22, I do worry about Deshaun Watson a little bit playing against that defense. But New Year, we'll see how Deshaun can play. What that Browns offense looks like. A lot to be seen there for sure. 22, Drake London plays Pittsburgh. I'm playing him in that one. I'm a little lower on Drake London than the field is this year, though. 23, Zay Flowers against Kansas City. I think this is one where both teams are going to need to score, so it could be good for Zay Flowers. 24, George Pickens against Atlanta. I think this is going to be a good one. Arthur Smith returning, or Arthur Smith, have an opportunity to get a revenge against Atlanta. Atlanta having an opportunity to get a revenge against Arthur Smith. I think both those teams are going to be pretty fired up. 25, DJ Moore against Tennessee. This could be too low, but I kind of just want to see what Caleb Williams hits the ground looking like. I think he's going to be good. That's why I have DJ Moore this high. I think it's a good matchup against Tennessee. But, DJ Moore could honestly be higher than Zay Flowers. You know what? I would probably we're going to make a live edit. I think I'm going to put DJ Moore ahead of Zay Flowers and George Pickens, but right behind Drake London. I think that's where he belongs. Because I do think it's a good matchup. I think DJ Moore is good, and I think Caleb Williams is going to be able to hit the ground running this year and be pretty solid for fantasy football, especially for just producing for pieces around him. 26, we got Rashee Rice against Baltimore. Tougher matchup, but he doesn't look like he's going to be suspended to start this season, so you can play him. 27, Tank Dell against Indy was fantastic last year. 28, Calvin Ridley against Chicago should be hyper-targeted. Even though they've got a tough corner in Jalen Johnson, I'm still rolling out Calvin Ridley. 29, Malik Neighbors. Similar situation with Marvin Harrison, just downgrading him a little bit to start the season. Still believe in him, definitely, but just give him in a few weeks to, get used to the NFL, things like that. But I expect him and Marvin Harrison to be major contributors right away. 30, Brandon Ayuk. This one's kind of hedging my bets. It's a tough matchup. We don't know if he's going to be on the 49ers or not, if he's going to be on the Steelers, if he's going to be playing, if he's going to be holding out. So just hedging my bets a little bit in between. 31, Terry McLaurin against Tampa Bay. Tougher matchup. I think Terry will be just fine. I think he'll be hyper-targeted. I think this is the best quarterback he's ever played with. 32, Christian Kirk. He plays Miami. He should be the guy there, and Miami is on a scary secondary. 33, Keenan Allen against Tennessee. I think he can hit the ground running. He being Caleb Williams. 34, Deontay Johnson against New Orleans. Should be able to volume his way to some success. 35, Chris Godwin against Washington. Good matchup. And 36, Christian Watson against Philly. I think there's some touchdown upside for Watson in that contest. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.